Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Leaf. Welcome, Amiibo! Today, I need to start by reorganizing my stuff, because that needs to go like that. We also need to put our thing away. I forgot to get coffee yesterday. I was sick. Like, I was not doing so hot. And now we have 3 letters, because I also forgot to deal with my letters from yesterday as well. So, let's see. What do we got? We got our Red's Gallery painting, which we need to donate. Carlos, thanks for coming to my room the other day. I'll make sure it looks cooler before you come over again. Here's a gift I couldn't give you earlier. Enjoy. I mean, it should look cooler next time I'm there because he'll be replacing some furniture. A pop-up book. And, okay, here it is. I had this dream in which you really wanted this. You were crying and everything. After the dream, I couldn't not give it to you. Please take good care of it. Your friend, Sky. Okay. Let's see. An opulent rug. Yeah, I don't think I would have wanted that, but, you know. Let's come put our music in our music box. I'm still not like 100%. So, if I seem a little off today, that's why. I'll put it on the floor. I mean, this guy went out of her way to buy it for me, so. Soulful KK. And hey, it works with the layout of my floor. Pop-up book. Bam. Yeah, Soulful KK is pretty good. I like it. But yeah, I actually have something to talk about today that is more just something I like talking about from time to time, because it's one of those things that, like, once you realize that, like... So I think my emulator might have been a little low. I don't know. If the volume is now suddenly louder than it normally is. Everything feels quiet today. But, if you've ever experienced this, it's a really cool feeling. And it's basically something that if I remember the term correctly, it's called tangential learning. It's basically learning through just hearing about something and then being like, wow, I want that. You know, keep having this dream about a striped carpet. My subconscious is trying to tell me I need one, but where should I find such a thing? Did you have one? What a strange coincidence. How much? Sounds good. I mean, I can't buy turnips today. I well overslept. I had to stay up late last night, so. But, I got thinking of this because while getting out of bed, was watching a video. Because I did just get out of bed. I was watching a video from Saberspark of going over some, like, conservative cartoon, basically. And him going over, you know, examples of, like, good cartoons doing what this bad one was trying to do. It's not to say all conservative cartoons are bad, just this specific one he was talking about was pretty bad. But he was basically using the example of, like, VeggieTales as a good one, and making mention of, like, you know, he has some atheist friends that watch VeggieTales because it's just a good cartoon. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of tangential learning in action in a way. Like, it's the kind of thing of you make a good product and you can basically sell people on anything. And what I kind of mean by that is, like, I will use my own anecdotal experience with this phenomenon. I know a decent bit about Chinese Three Kingdoms history. Why? Video games. Hello, Captain. Aye, be that me, lad Stephen. Do you come here often? Hehehe. Do this be your usual bean hunt? What I wouldn't give to have that much hair on me head. But you're a kappa, you've never had hair on your head. I suppose it doesn't mean he can't be jealous of it. Hoping you come by. I would like my cup of coffee. Like my usual. Speaking of usual. Thanks, Brewster. But, and it's not that, like, the games themselves taught me about Three Kingdoms history. It's that they interested me so much, I was like, I want to know more. They gave enough tidbits of information to basically spark an interest in me in learning more about it. Same with the Japanese Sengoku Jidai, or Warring States period. Another way to put it, for those who may be like, those words kind of sound slightly familiar, what video games would do Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors? Those games literally interested me in learning about those topics. Like, and that led me down a rabbit hole of documentaries, various translated textbooks, you know, various other romanticized shows and games and stuff. And, like, it's great. Like, I've learned quite a lot. And, like, one of the things that really, like, caught me off and, like, I had to go and look up why this was happening was, for anyone who's played the older Dynasty Warriors games, and this still rings true in the newer ones, at least it did for 8 Empires, and encountered the Lieutenant Yan Yan, and ever wondered why he has weirdly higher stats than all the other lieutenants? That's because he was actually an important figure, just not important enough to be turned into, like, a named officer. Because he didn't do anything of major note, but he was revered by multiple officers for his strength and his loyalty and, you know. So, like, he is a known quantity kind of thing. Or, you know, known thing, but he wasn't important enough to get turned into, like, a full-out officer. Hello, Lobo. So listen, we need to chat. You're the big shot mayor and everything, so you're gonna get an earful. It's nothing serious. I was thinking about a nice rack of rice here. Okay. I mean, I could see that working, I guess. Yeah, I was literally about to say, I have not found a single gyroid yet. I was about to question if there were even gyroids today. Of course, the money rock would be the one rock they're all gathered around. Yep, lost item. Hey, Lobo. Did you drop this? Specifically this? It is his bag. He's looking everywhere for it. He must have left it somewhere. So glad you found it. Thanks for taking the time to bring it back to me. Gotta thank you, so you're taking my Lobo's pick with you. Yay! Another Lobo pick. Oh, there's the gem rock. I will save and continue just to be safe, because my lemon likes to explode. This lemon was made by Cave Johnson. He didn't want the lemons. He really didn't want those lemons. Battery's dead, my man. See you around, Rossetti. Now we got more bamboo. And more bamboo. And Frisk is being a pain in the ass because she noticed I was recording. I love how she does that. I actually don't. I kind of hate it. But yeah, like, there's just little quirks you can learn about history from playing games if the developers actually care. And the same goes for watching TV shows. Like, as long as the people behind it actually care and aren't just trying to make, you know, basically propaganda, it's, you know, you get some good stuff. The problem comes when, you know, all they're after is making propaganda. That's when issues start arising. Because, like, you don't learn much of anything from propaganda. Pretty sure, yeah, I only have 2 spaces. But I will say, it is always a nice feeling when, like, you're playing a game and then, like, let's say... Hold on, Velma. I'll give it to you in a quick second. There we go. You know, hun, I've truly loved living here in Sapphire. No! You're not moving out. No! Don't move. Yeah, I'm so flattered. I'm gonna stay now. You better stay. You're not allowed to move. Having everyone move out. And I know it's because I'm not writing letters, but like... I'm really bad at it. Give me a break. But yeah, it's always a nice feeling when, like, you're playing a game and then, like... You know, you don't even realize it, but like an hour later, you're just off researching something about it because it just piqued your interest. Like, that's always a good feeling. And that's kind of the bonus of, like, video games and TV shows and stuff, is you're probably not gonna watch it if it doesn't pique your interest at least a little bit in the first place. So, there's a pretty high chance that whatever you're watching is going to be something that interests you, whether it be watching the gameplay that you're playing or watching a show. Like, it's probably going to interest you because it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't. Let's be real, if you're doing something and you don't enjoy it, you probably shouldn't be doing it, you know? And that's something that I've always found funny when it comes to people, like... There's a regular group of people who will go into, like, the help chat of World of Warships just to complain about the game, and that's all they ever do. And it's like, okay, but why are you even still playing the game, then? all you ever do is complain about it. So what's the point? Why are you doing this to yourself? Just go do something you'll enjoy instead. I have no idea where this final fossil could be. I mean, at the very least with World of Warships, they have the minor argument of, like, if they want to play that style of game, they really only have World of Warships as an option. There really isn't competition. Like, there is, but there isn't. There is War Thunder Naval, but it's not as good. War Thunder Naval is quite bad, actually. Quite bad, insanely unbalanced. You know, as everything in War Thunder really is, but, you know. But those are also great games for tangentially learning about something, like... You know, imagine for a moment you're playing along in World of Warships and you decide to look at the French tech tree and you're like, what are these? I want to... Okay, what were these French fries thinking? And then you go and look up the Normandy class or the, you know, the Dunkirk or the Richelieu, just to be like, okay, what were they thinking here? Because they're all really weird. And then you learn little tidbits about, say, like, the Richelieu, where you learn that, like, oh, her ammunition hoist broke down all the time. To the point where she, at one point, had a reload rate of, basically reloading her 8 guns in 15 minutes. That was her reload rate. Like, or you'll end up seeing something like even the one of the quote-unquote fictional ships of, like, the Kearsarge. If you go digging long enough, you can find the original designs for that thing. Ah, these crowds. You know, I do love shopping, but the lines in the competition get to me. It's like, hey, we all get what we want if we just cooperate and relax a little bit. Know what I mean? Yeah, but scalpers want everything, so that's kind of part of the problem, and they're what creates most of the crowd. But yeah, like, and finding the original blueprint of Kearsarge can tell you a lot more about why it was built, why the design was done. This was a design proposed while the Iowas were being built. Yeah, the roses seem fine. You should pick them up, Sky. Or tulips. Yeah, roses. Bye, bye, bye. Bam. I want to sell some stuff. No. Need to keep that. There we go. I need to go back to the museum. I almost forgot about the painting. But, like, there's a lot of things that you can learn from a lot of different games if the games do their jobs properly. And the same goes for TV shows. Like, I know bits and pieces about the Korean conflict because of MASH. You know, like, I watched a lot of MASH as a kid, and then there was some things happened that I'm like, I want to look that stuff up. I want to, you know, I want to know more about all of this. Which is where, you know, contrary to popular belief, that was, one, never a war. It was a conflict. There was never a formal declaration of war. And two, it never ended. It's technically still going on. What was signed was a ceasefire. That's not an end to the war, because neither side wants to admit that they've lost, basically. Because technically both sides lost so far. They have neither have accomplished their goal of reunifying the country. Now, it has served as quite the public relations win. Because, like, the whole reason more of the world was involved in Korea than just North and South Korea was basically, it was a communism versus democracy thing. Like, and the side that picked, you know, communism is the one that's currently struggling to exist. That being North Korea. Like, the sad thing about that war, and it's one of the things that actually I got looking up, because, like, the thought in my head was, surely this can't have actually been the case. And no, it was. Some families, if they had two sons, would basically send one son to fight for the North and one son to fight for the South, because they didn't know which side was going to win, and wanted to make sure one of their sons would make it through the war. Like, it's dark, but, like, that happened. So a lot of families got really torn apart by that conflict. And I'll call it a war from time to time, because technically, like, calling it just a conflict is a very large technicality, because there was never a formal declaration of war. But you could still call it a war. If it looks like a war, sounds like a war, smells like a war, it's a war. But, you know, if you want to get really anal about it, no formal declaration of war was ever declared. Yeah, I need to put these things away. I don't think I have storage space for putting them away. But I'm not selling a Lobo pick. It's not gonna happen. My storage is gonna ultimately just end up being nothing but villager picks, isn't it? But, like, even, like, something like Animal Crossing can still teach you about stuff if you get, like, a piece of furniture and you're like, what is that? And then you look it up. And then you find the real-life furniture, you know. You know what? I'm just gonna... This has officially become flooring and... There we go. It's officially become flooring and gyroids. Mostly because I have like 4 tabs of empty space for turnips I don't even have this week. But if I fill it up with gyroids, then I won't have that space for stuff later. Also, man, I need to mow the lawn today. I don't want to mow the lawn today. Napoleon fish. Even bits of history can teach you about other bits of history. And seeing that actually just reminded me of something. And that is just a simple question. But first, you shall. Oh, a flea? Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me that didn't come. Please tell me that didn't come from me. Dude, I just swear I've been taking baths and everything. Looks like I owe you one. Holler if you spot any more, Queen. I will. But if you had to guess, who would you say Napoleon's biggest rival / enemy was? It'd be fair, some of you are now saying, well, Nelson, surely. Like, Nelson sunk his fleet and absolutely clobbered him. And that's a fair argument. You want to know who Napoleon saw as his nemesis and his biggest rival? Sir Sidney Smith. And I know there's probably a lot of you going, who? Exactly, because history didn't pay any attention to him. Even though he was arguably more influential in Napoleon's downfall than Nelson. But Nelson was the admiral. So Sidney Smith was just an officer. An officer who was quite a go-getter and would do things on his own without needing to be ordered, and was also quite the specialist of river warfare, basically. And what I mean by that is he was quite well known for basically doing what Marines do. Taking a small craft up a river and then attacking somewhere that, you know, the enemy didn't think you'd even be able to get to. He at one point took a small craft and burnt down some of Napoleon's ships in the harbor, of which Napoleon wanted him tried for arson, because at the time, Sir Sidney Smith was technically not a commissioned officer, so he was technically a civilian at that point in time, but no one wanted to press charges against him. Like, this was Napoleon wanting the charges pressed. Like, no one actually wanted to take it up. Especially because he was demanding the British do it. The British weren't going to do what Napoleon says. It's things like that. Like, just knowing about Napoleon and looking into Napoleon, you'll learn about Sir Sidney Smith. Someone that you're not going to learn about by just looking in the history textbooks from your class. Because those history textbooks in your class were probably written by the rich guys who won the war. Because history's always written by the victor. Which makes it really funny when you look back at Three Kingdoms China, and the group that won was not portrayed as the good guys in the slightest. So you can really tell that that history was written later and wasn't written at the time. And the history that was written at the time has probably been lost to history. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. I thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've maybe gained, you know, some inspiration to go look up something that you've been interested in from a game. It could literally be as small as just looking up the type of sword your character's using in Elden Ring. And that can lead you down the rabbit hole of medieval weaponry. You know, as long as it's a good thing. Or like a TV show, like using an example of like, you know, watching MASH and being like, hey, that's, you know, that, you know, the episode where the guy's talking about sending one son north, one son south. Like, it's an interesting thing and can pique interest if you're interested in the topic in the first place. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow, where I will hopefully feel even better than I do today. For more Animal Crossing New Leaf, welcome Amiibo. See you all then.